Welcome to the Inspiration for an Empowered Life podcast, sponsored by the Image Designers. They will help you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. Now, here's your host, the Image Master, Holly Porter.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to another one of our podcasts. I have another guest who is another one of our 40-40 rules, wisdom from 40 women over 40 book co-author, and her name's Robin Brooks. Brooks. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
It's a lovely day.
I know. I'm so excited to have you. And you live in Alaska, right?
I do live in Alaska.
Is it cold now?
We're already starting our fall season. Mid-August, the trees already start to turn.
Oh, fall's my favorite. So I'd be happy if I could just live in fall all the time. I don't like cold, but I do like the fall.
Okay, we have to get you up here in the right time of year then.
Yeah. When I was in Alaska, I was on a cruise, and it was the first one in June, and it was freezing and really windy. And the ship had just come back from Hawaii, so it had all this tropical stuff on it, and it was freezing. It was the weirdest thing ever. I was like, what? Well, Robin, I'm going to read a bio on you just so that the listeners can get a feel a little bit more about you. Bear with me for a minute. Robin Brooks has a Master of Science degree in Environmental Education from Antioch,
Yes.
New England Graduate School in New Hampshire. She is also a credentialed life coach and member of International Federation of Coaches. They call that the IFC, right?
Yes.
Robin has been working as the student success coordinator for the past 7 years at the University of Alaska Fairbanks in the interior Alaska campus. She works primarily with Native American students located throughout Alaska. She's responsible for helping her students succeed in their educational goals. Her role as a coach and advisor allows her to have one-on-one conversations with students, explore interests and strengths, self-awareness, study habits, and career development possibilities. You can contact her, and we'll be able to give that information here in a few minutes, how you can get a hold of her. But anyway, that's awesome. And I love what you do. I think that's such a kind service. And don't you go off the campus a lot?
I do. I travel by bush plane to many of these remote villages. Most of them aren't on a road system. So
Wow.
I have to travel by bush plane, sometimes boat, sometimes snowmobile.
Do you ever go on a dog sled?
I have been on dog sleds.
So
Yes.
You go and coach them?
I do a lot of advising. So
Okay.
we have a lot of classes that we can take by internet or by telephone. We have distance classes for many of these students in their remote villages. And with those remote classes, we have advising needs, coaching, counseling needs. So I wear many hats, actually. And when I go, you never know what they're going to ask me or need me to do for them. I just go prepared and ready.
I think that's great. Well, we were talking before we started the podcast a little bit about you blog, and you were sharing a blog, and I really wanted you to share that with the listeners today about your blog post. Can you do that?
Yes, you can find me on journeysforward.wordpress.com.
Okay.
Journeys Forward, all one word, JOUR. Let me spell it out.
We'll post it just so they know as well if they don't get it.
JOURNYSFORWARD.wordpress.com.
Okay, and then I'll make sure that's posted below so that our listeners can snag it off of there as well and go read. So let's chat a little bit about that.
Okay.
What was it about?
Well, so far I don't really have a strong coaching presence outside the university, but I do have some friends that can contact me with the website. I blog a lot on coaching issues. One of my favorite that I just finished blogging on this morning is from this quote here from Walt Disney. And he states, "All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them." And I love that. There was so much of my life where it felt like I was just spinning my wheels, not going anywhere, not going to achieve my dreams. And I just kept trying to move forward in tiny steps, doing the best I could. And it was amazing. One day I woke up and I looked around and I realized, look at the path that I've followed. It felt like I wasn't going anywhere, but suddenly I realized that I had been on a path that was constantly pursuing my dreams. And I got to a place that was unexpected and surprising, but it felt very successful. And so it's amazing how tiny little steps of just moving towards your dream will get you to a place. And it may be an unexpected place. But as you are moving forward in those positive directions towards that dream, just unexpected surprises can happen and allow you to feel like, oh, it was not all in vain after all.
Yeah, I love that. For me, that reminds me, I mean, like for me, the unexpected would be divorces out of those changes, you know, because if you're not married to someone who's going to support your dreams, why are you married to them? You know, and not that I'm a divorce advocate or anything. I just, don't let people hold you back. Make that decision and then make a plan, you know, to make that happen, because people love to squash our dreams, you know.
They do. And it comes up being a time in our life where we just need to recognize that big things can come with making those tiny decisions, for those tiny goals.
Oh, definitely. And I had a conversation with one of our other authors today about vision boards, and that goes along with it as well. Get them on a vision board, you know, and if you don't know how to make one or do one, Google it, YouTube it. They're all over the place, and get those on there. Yeah. So what else did you share on that blog?
Well, everything that I've blogged about has something to do with coaching, whether it's positive outlooks, changing the way you're thinking, looking at strategies to move yourself forward, setting goals that are good goals. All of these things, they're tiny little steps, and they seem like maybe they won't do the powerful things that we need them to do to move us forward, but they do. Every single time we create those strategies, set those goals, and then take tiny little action steps, they do move us forward.
Yes, I agree. And you remind me of a really good coach for someone to work with, that, and I could be off base, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody that will see the details that people, like, I'm a bigger vision person. I don't want to deal with the details. Like, they drive me absolutely bonkers. You know, I'll do them because sometimes I just need to do them. They're not my favorite thing, but I could see you see the pieces to the puzzle. I see the full picture. You see the pieces that go in it. Is that you?
It's very much so. I would say just about every student or client that comes to me, they almost all come with a feeling of being overwhelmed. And the reason they're overwhelmed is because they see the big picture and it's too much to handle. And we really have to bring it down so that their focus is on, okay, that is your vision, that's your goal, that is the big picture. Now let's take it down to the step. What are you going to do today? How are you going to move yourself forward today? And suddenly that feeling of being overwhelmed is released, because we do bring it down to what can be accomplished in a tiny moment of time, or a tiny little bit of effort. And so these things then help to relieve that feeling of being overwhelmed.
Well, you're so calming. Just talking to you, you're so calming. Like when you were saying that, for me, the big picture, it doesn't make me overwhelmed. I just can't slow down because I want it, I want it, I want it. So I'm just constantly going, wanting that big picture. And I miss the steps and the order and how to get there. Like I get there eventually, I figure it out, but boy, I make a lot of mistakes along the way because, you know, those reins need to be pulled back. And my husband's more like you. So like, it's a really good combination of a marriage. We're totally opposites, but we do complement each other really well for that. So
it's a good point. We need both. We do need that vision. We do need that goal out there in front of us. It's what inspires us. It's what keeps our vision focused towards the future. So we need that. But we also need those strategies in place and those tiny little steps that will help us succeed.
Well, and the systems is part of the strategies too. I love systems. I just don't want to organize them. I just want them there. I want to learn how to use them and I want to go. I know my husband would be right with you because he's so much like you are, but I just, and they're so needed. Like I would have saved so much money, so much time, you know, but if someone ever told me I couldn't do something, oh, watch out. At any cost, I will make sure I do it if it's what I want, you know, so it's just the way it is. But no, I think that's great. You'd be a great coach for people that need those, you know, they need those steps and systems in place. We all do actually, but you've got great for that. Who would you say are your ideal clients?
I have two. I have a lot of women who get to a place in their mid-age range and they go, is there anything more for me? And that whole idea of inspiring women to say, of course there is. You can start over when you're 40. You can start over when you're 50.
Yeah.
We can start from square one and you will be surprised and amazed at where you go just because you change how you're thinking. If you think your life is over with, it's not.
Well, it reminds me of, I'm part of eWomen Network, and it's a group of 500,000 women. And she started at 17 years ago when she was 40 years old.
Yes.
She's making millions every year, you know, probably $1 million every month. I would definitely dare say. So you're right. It reminds me of the Reba McEntire song, Is There Life Out There? And during my first divorce, that came up a lot for me. That was a popular song years ago. And I remember that that's how I felt. It was like, is there life out there? You know, there's got to be something more than where I'm at. And it was like, either the people you have in your life are coming with you or they're not. And you've got to decide that, you know, work together on it. It's a team effort, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
And then the other person that I really work with is more a younger person that's really struggling with career development and where do they go and how do they get there? How do they choose the path that's right for them? I'm certified in Myers-Briggs and strong interest, and we really look at the values of that person, the strengths of their person, how they're thinking, and try to find their passions and interests so that they can move forward in a direction that's really going to fit who they are.
Right. What are you in Myers-Briggs? I'm curious.
Well, I'm first of all an introvert.
Yeah.
I'm a sensing person. I'm very much on the far end of the feeling person, and I'm a judging person. I suspect you're a perceiving person.
I'm a EFNJ, I think is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're extrovert. I have learned many skills to be very expressive in my life.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I want to go home to be quiet.
Mm-hmm. When some speakers on stage say, I'm an introvert, isn't that amazing? They amaze you when they say that. You're like, no, you're not. But they really are. They have just learned those skills. It is a learned skill.
Yes.
And I've noticed when I do personality tests now, the longer I've been an entrepreneur, the more I've learned skills to be a little more divided, you know? I mean, I still have 2 really high, but now I have kind of 3 high in the disc, for instance. I have 3 that are pretty high. So,
Well, and it's wonderful because when we learn about the brain and how much they're learning about the brain with technology today, we used to be told that, you're born with what you're born with. And that's not true at all. We have the power to develop and to change our brains. And that is...
I think your instincts, though, like certain things will always be that way. But you're right. That's what our brains are for, is learning, right?
Learning and changing, adapting, and growing. So yes, we have basic preferences, and usually under stress, we fall back to those basic preferences. But we have the ability to learn many, many things and can grow in new areas.
Yes, and I love learning like that. I almost get to the point though where it's like, okay, I need to now absorb a few things, because for 4 years now, I'm just like, I would call myself a seminar junkie. I mean, I would just go. I learned, I took classes, I've had coaches, but I feel like now it's time to pull back and just let all that stuff go in and use those skills, because you've got to have time to implement the systems and, and that's what I never gave myself. Like I just would go. And so well, I have 1 more book to finish the end of September, and then I'll feel like I can do that. It's been a long year, but I was so happy that you were part of our journey of the 40/40.
And I know I think I was the last person added because I stepped in. But I was just so thrilled to be able to have that opportunity. When I read about all the other ladies, they're just such amazing ladies, and they've gone on such amazing journeys.
Yeah.
It just feels like an honor to be a part of that.
Well, and this is a surprise to you too, I am going to add the 30/30 women to that 40/40 page when they're done. And I'll just keep building. In fact, I'll put that announcement out here. I've had so many women over 40. By the way, that was an easier group to get. The 30/30, I'm still struggling to get the last couple. Just because that's not my age group. That's my kids' age groups. But I've had so many come to me that I'm going to do a 40/40 rules volume 2 next year.
Wow.
So if you know any women, so many have come and said, oh, if you do that, or I'm like, or if you do 50/50, I'm like, I am not working with 50 women. It was a challenge, let me tell you. But I decided to do that because I've got so many that are interested, and it won't be the same questions. I'll probably change it up, because each time you do something, you're learning and you're growing, and I'm doing the same thing, So it was an honor to work with that many women, and the right women showed up. Like I had quite a few that backed out, and I'm grateful they did, because it left room for you and other women.
Like you. I was excited to be a part, that there was room for me.
Well, and you had your stuff to me. Didn't you have it to me like within 48
I sat
hours?
down as soon as I heard that there might be an opportunity. I sat down and did all my homework like within a day.
Oh, I mean, but that's the kind of people I wanted for it. and
I was determined to get that spot if it was available.
Oh, I was so grateful, and because it was stressful. We were down to the wire. Like I needed stuff back, and I'm getting that way with the 30/30 too. I have 6 weeks before it's launching, and I'm like, I still have some spots. So kind of the same situation, not quite as, I think you were even under the wire even more, but it's been a learning curve for me, but such a blessing. And like I said, I'll just keep growing that group, so all of the co-authors will be able to network, and they already have been. I'm watching them do business with each other. Several of them have joined the academy with Elena, our publisher, and her academy. And so it's just been fun to watch and see what happens from there. And that might be something you might want to do too. She's got a Facebook group that's a $35 a month Facebook group that she teaches a lot of stuff on there that might be of interest to you with what you're doing and moving forward. So it's going to be different, working with college age kids to working more with the adults,
And, I'm getting to the place where I'll be retiring soon. And so it's the whole idea that what's next for me. And, so I'm really looking forward to creating those opportunities for just coaching and maybe just working with women
Okay.
rather than just the younger age that I've been doing for the last 7 years.
Well, we just have a few 30 seconds. Anything that's coming to top of mind that you can think of you want to share with the listeners, and we'll put your link down there, how to contact you. Is your Facebook link okay as well?
My Facebook link as well is good as well.
Okay, I'll put that as well.
And I suppose a phone number is okay as well. It's
Okay.
907.
I usually don't, but they can contact you on Messenger.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, we'll let them do that. You never know. Your phone might be ringing off the hook because
you never know. You never know.
Yeah, these are all archived, so people are going to be listening to them they listen to them already from all over the world. So it's really been fun. Yeah, seeing where the statistics are coming from. So because this is a new thing for me. So
well, this is my first video, so it's been really fun being able to be interviewed in this way, and I will be delighted to hear if there's anybody that would like to talk with me further.
Okay, well, me too. I think it'd be great. Well, thank you, listeners, for joining us today, and we will say goodbye for now and see you on the next one we have. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, Holly.
Have a good day.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Inspiration for an Empowered Life podcast, sponsored by the Image Designers. They will help you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. You can learn more about them at theimagedesigners.com or email Holly at hollyporter.com.